Hi, my name is Mrs. Jamie Anderson, and I'm the academic advisor for a student-run newspaper that is here at Excelsior Classes. Our very first issue ever at Excelsior Classes will be the first Monday of September. I have been the faculty advisor for a student-run newspaper since I took it over from Jody Guerra in 2013. And I have to tell you, it has been one of life's simple pleasures for me. And it has been for dozens and dozens of homeschool students. I received a degree in journalism from Iowa State University, spent time in radio, still am in radio, and spent time in public relations, and then God called me home to raise our three sons. And that's when I got involved in homeschooling, teaching in a homeschool co-op, and then teaching online in 2013. And the newspaper has been a delight and a surprise to me, and it's a surprise to students and their parents as well. So today I want to tell you about 3 benefits for serving on the student-run newspaper. The first is teamwork. Everybody needs work on teamwork, right? The second is time management. Everyone needs help on time management. And the third is tight writing. So you see, out of those 3 benefits, only one of them has to do with writing, English, journalism. So if you have a student who isn't interested in journalism or English, they can still benefit from serving on the student-run newspaper. I've had students that have majored, who have graduated from high school and went on to major in physical therapy, in aviation, in business, in education, and a few have gone on to major in journalism, to my absolute delight. I love following the students after they graduate. And a lot of them love to tell me what they have done as far as using their skills on the newspaper. One of them restarted a student-run newspaper at her Christian college that had been defunct before she got there. Another one used her skills to join a very successful student-run newspaper. And then she went on a little bit further and started a literary magazine. And both of them used a lot of what they learned here at the student-run newspaper, including a mission statement, an organizational chart, and all of these benefits, including teamwork, time management, and tight writing. So let me tell you about those 3 benefits. Teamwork. Maybe you've heard the acronym together. Everyone accomplishes more. Team, that's what the students learn. I help them understand the benefit and the meaning of that acronym. The students are put together in an organizational chart. This is a student-run newspaper. I oversee everything, but the person that is really at the top is the editor-in-chief. Normally, it's a person that has served on the newspaper before, and this year, indeed, that is the case. She is already in place. Then underneath the editor-in-chief, there are editors, copy editor or editors, and a design editor. And underneath those students are writers or columnists, additional copy editors, maybe artists. And so there's an organizational chart that the students are placed into after they sign up for the newspaper. And what they find out is that together, everyone accomplishes more on that team. So they're no longer just an independent student somewhere in the United States being homeschooled, but they come together to produce a really polished, nice-looking publication. And I say that because it's all the students doing it. Every single issue has literally amazed me when it has been published. Another thing that the students learn is how to accomplish a mission statement together. I write a mission statement that is approved by the management, and here at Excelsior Classes, that will be Jody Guerra and the teachers in the consortium of Excelsior Classes. And then that mission statement is what drives the newspaper. So every student knows that mission statement. I have them say it over and over again. By the time they're done with 1 year, they almost have it memorized. By the time they're done with their service on the newspaper, they do have it memorized. And normally when a student starts on the newspaper, they continue until they graduate from high school because it's such an enjoyable, worthwhile extracurricular activity where they make wonderful friendships. But that mission statement is what drives the newspaper. So a student might come up with an idea and they're going to write an article. So they go back to the mission statement and they look at the mission statement. Usually this is done in consultation with their editor and maybe the editor-in-chief and maybe me. And so they look at that mission statement and their idea. Does this idea accomplish the mission statement? If it does, they're off and running. If it doesn't, then what they do is they go back and they figure out how they can tweak their idea to accomplish the mission statement. And in some cases, it's rare, but in some cases, the student realizes, oh, my idea doesn't accomplish the mission statement, and I can't even change my idea to accomplish the mission statement. So they have to abandon that idea and come up with a new idea, often in consultation with their editor. So working under a mission statement is something the students learn. This is something that is done in corporate America, that is done in nonprofit sectors. So being introduced to a mission statement and a mission statement that has stood this test of time is something the students learn. They also learn about communication. And when you are trying to accomplish something together in a team, you have to communicate. You have to tell them, this is what I'm working on, or I'm running behind, or here's an idea, what do you think about this one? And so we have an irreducible that we use on the student-run newspaper, and that is a 24-hour response time to emails. The students realize that they have to respond to an email within 24 hours. That might simply mean, got your email, I'm thinking about it, working on it, or here's the answer to your question. But they need to do that within 24 hours, and they know that. They also communicate in a lot of other ways. We have Zoom meetings where they're on camera, and so they learn some camera presence on a Zoom meeting. And then they use all kinds of other ways to communicate, including one of the favorites of some of the years of students, which is Google Hangouts. So learning communication as well. So in teamwork, they learn an organizational chart, they learn a mission statement and accomplishing it, and they learn how to communicate effectively and concisely and continuously. So that's one benefit. The second benefit is time management. When they are working on deadline pressure to put out a newspaper the first Monday of the month, they have to back time and realize, I come up with my idea here, get it approved by my editor, maybe it has to be tweaked, maybe I have to go back and find a new idea. So they have to have a lot of lead time in coming up with their idea. Then they have to have some lead time in contacting the person they will interview. Because in every article, we ask them to do an interview, which I ask them to do over the phone or in some kind of an online platform where they can have that conversation, not to where they type an answer in an email and the person responds back in email. I don't want that. I want just the ongoing dialogue where the student is also listening to the person that is talking, hearing what might be newsworthy. The classic definition of news is when dog bites man, that's not news. When man bites dog, that's news. We've never had any of those actual stories. But what I help the students understand, it's something new, it's different, it's out of the ordinary, that's news. And so they're listening for that as they conduct the interview with the person until they find that little nugget. And I'm going to tell you about the nugget here in a minute. It is a short article. So they learn how to work on deadline pressure and plan ahead. And they learn that procrastination never works when you're working in a team because you disrupt the team or you cause a lot of stress in your own self by trying to meet those deadlines when you don't plan ahead. And isn't that a good skill that we want our students to know before they go to college? Yeah, it definitely is. So they learn deadlines, they learn not to procrastinate, and they learn to plan ahead when they're working with other people so that other people also have time to respond to them as well. So besides teamwork and time management, one of the benefits of working on the student-run newspaper is tight writing. Yes, it's alliteration. Tight writing, what does that mean? It means 400-word articles. Some students come onto the newspaper and say, 400 words? How do I get to 400 words? I don't know how to get to 400 words. The editor-in-chief, and I help them get to 400 words. Other students come onto the newspaper and say, 400 words? I can't get this all said in just 400 words. I need more. Nope, you don't have it. You have 400 words, and that's all. And so we help them learn how to write tightly, how to edit their own copy, how to make every word count. In fact, that is one of the benefits that one of the students that graduated 2 or 3 years ago told me when she went off to college. She said, the thing that benefited me the most was the way that you introduced tight writing, concise writing to me, because I use that so often. She said, that's a real life skill for me. So now when she writes email messages or text messages or blog posts, she understands how to write concisely and how to write tightly. This tight writing is not just concise. It is inverted pyramid. That is the classic structure of news writing, where you have a summary lead on the top, the who, what, when, where, why, how, right there at the top. Then underneath that is additional information in descending order of importance, so that possibly the design editor, the editors may need to chop off the end of the article. And that's how inverted pyramid journalism writing first was birthed, because a newspaper would have only so many column inches, and so they might have to chop off the end of articles. We normally don't need to do that here on this publication, but sometimes it does need to happen that way. So they learn the inverted pyramid structure of writing. They learn to insert 1, 2, maybe 3 quotes from the person that they interviewed into the newspaper. So it's not their words, it's the newsmaker's words. And they also learn how to do that concisely and to do it accurately. And then they also learn how to write according to a style book, and the style book that we use is the Associated Press style book. Many students come in knowing how to write MLA, knowing how to write APA, maybe even Chicago style, but this one is AP style. And this was developed so that newspapers across the country all were writing according to the same style. So the copy editor is the one that is in charge, if you will, of the AP style book and learning the AP style book. And I offer the copy editor each year an opportunity to come into our regular newspaper meetings and teach 1 or 2 skills that they have learned from the AP style book for the students. And because they do look at all the students' writing, they know where some of the most common mistakes are that are according to the AP style book, or it might even be grammar, because we do require good grammar in the articles as well. So writing according to the AP style book, writing 400-word articles, and just having that real life skill of writing tightly are important elements in tight writing. So the 3 benefits that I've talked about are teamwork, time management, tight writing. Those are the 3 benefits that students learn as they serve together on the student-run newspaper here at Excelsior Classes. So if your student would like to sign up, we would love to have them be part of the Beacon newspaper. But we also would love to have all of you be readers of the newspaper. So be looking on the Excelsior Classes Facebook page and on the website each month, the very beginning of the month is when the publication is published, when the Beacon is published. And then if you would respond to the readership survey, the students love to hear from their readers. They just wait. They can't wait to see the publication after it comes from the designer and is ready to be published. That's the one excitement they have. And then the second excitement they have is, what did the readers say? What did they say about our articles? And what ideas do they have for us? Because that's where some of the ideas come from as well. Readers submit ideas to the Beacon for some of the articles to be written about in the future. So, one of the students a few years ago told me the benefit for her on serving on the newspaper. And again, it's one of life's simple pleasures for me to hear from the students what they think after they've served on the student-run newspaper 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. The student said, "Besides crazy awesome friends, seeing God at work in teachers' lives as I interviewed them was such a benefit. Getting to hear their stories was so amazing. I understand better God's heart for us, and I glorify Him more because of that experience." So, especially with what's going on in America today, having a student understand how to hear, to really listen, to really hear what a teacher or maybe a fellow student or an alumni says is so important to learn those listening skills so that they can then accurately write what they heard. So it's really a form of reflective listening that the students do. So I do encourage you to take a look at the student-run newspaper, the Newspaper Club here at Excelsior Classes. My name is Jamie Anderson. You can reach me at jamieanderson@excelsiorclasses.com and just join me on one of life's simple pleasures, whether it's being part of producing the newspaper or whether it's being a regular reader of the Beacon newspaper. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again. God bless.